Hey, this is EAJ Man from Autopsy Live and the Skype Pirates. When I want to make it look like I give a shit about sports, I tune into Sports World Radio with Jeff Escow.
Jeff
Doing bad time. Doing bad time. Got myself a problem.
I'm messed up, growing tired of knots, tangled up in problems, not caring enough. Now I'm on a journey to find what's right, always telling the truth, but hiding all the lies. And don't go thinking I'm being myself. I just act this way around you, and there's someone else. This isn't where I wanna be. Let's look in the kitchen and the living room. Nothing to find but what's left from a really great time that wasn't any of mine. Running away feels like a storm. Let's throw our problems out the door today. Well, finding things clear to me. And don't go thinking I'm being myself. I got other things on my mind, not you or anyone else. This isn't where I wanna be. Whoa, make me see the things on the inside. 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 Don't go thinking I'm being myself. I just act this way around you, and to someone else. This isn't where I wanna be. Whoa,
if I could share her sorrow for all the men that tried to treat her wrong. You're just a baby awaiting her tomorrow. It's rock me baby all night long. She needs an answer to her confusion, someone to guide her with tenderness. But when she's asking for a solution, oh, she gets, you know, it's something like this. I don't know where we come from, I don't know where we're going to, but if all this should have a reason, we would be the last to know. So let's just hope there is a promised land. Hang on till then, as best as we can. Everybody else, you know, it fills her with compassion. That's why she tries to save the world alone. She helps the needy in her own fashion and tries to give them all her own. She needs an answer to her confusion, someone to guide her with tenderness. But when she's asking for a solution, oh, she gets, you know, it's something like this. I don't know where we come from, I don't know where we're going to, but if all this should have a reason, we would be the last to know. So let's just hope there is a promised land. Hang on till then, as best as we can. Rock me baby all night long. 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 Rock me baby all night long.
All I want is to be loved. All I want is you. All I want is to be from somewhere, and a dress for me and you. Sometimes it feels impossible to get along. It feels impossible to get along. Again, I'm living with my family. Again, I'm feeling blue. Again, you've made me question our love. Again, with you, sometimes it feels impossible to get along. Yeah, it feels impossible to get along. Sometimes it feels impossible. So now I sit alone in silence, waiting to hear from you. I pray there's something left inside us. If it's broken, I've got some glue. I'll fix it all for you. Fix it all for you. I'll fix it all for you. I'll fix it all for you. It all for you. But it feels impossible to.
Live from San Diego, it's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy fucking shit.
What the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Those are your hosts, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann. Remember, those who can't play sports, talk about it. These two tell it like it is. Tune into Sports World Radio for the fastest hour of sports of your life. So here they are, the douchebags of sports themselves, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Sports World Radio. I am the host, Jeff Escow. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. Lots of stuff to talk to. So what do you say we get right into it? And before we do, you can listen to Sports World Radio on SportsWorldRadio.com. Also on Spreaker.com. Just type in Sports World Radio. We're there. We're also on iTunes. Subscribe to our iTunes channel over there on iTunes, Sports World Radio. Head on over there. Subscribe to our podcast. Never miss one of our shows. Follow us on Twitter over there at twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. Also, follow us on Facebook. Like us over there on Facebook. Over there on Facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. Okay, now with all that crap out the way, what do you say? Hey, we bring in our good friend, the co-host of Sports World Radio, Sean Mann, the update man. What's going on there, bud?
I'm doing good, Jeff, and welcome everybody to Sports World Radio on Wednesday, February 12th, 2014. Currently the time is 7:07 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 4:07 p.m. on the West. It is a beautiful day, and I am getting myself ready for a big bowling night tonight. I'm determined to come back and do well.
Now, what do you consider a beautiful day out there in the land of potatoes?
It's because the fact remains that the weather is warm, the snow is melting. We can say goodbye to snow, and the fact is I can feel the day starting to get longer. I can just feel it.
So you have snow on the ground, but it's warm. What do you consider warm?
You really hit me with a challenging question. It'd probably be like in the 80s or the 90s or something like that, and then you enjoy going to the beach and go swimming or something
but it's
like
not.
that.
Yeah, but it's not 80 degrees where you're at.
No, it's not. It's in the 40s and the snow is melting, and I love it. I'm ready for winter to be done with. I'm ready for those long spring and summer days. I reckon.
I reckon? What are you, a cowboy?
Jeff's like, did you just come up with a new phrase for the show or something like that? Yeah.
I reckon? What do you, live in Texas?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I guess I learned a little bit of the southern Texas accent there, even though I have more of the Midwestern accent.
Hey, stop hanging out with Jerry Jones.
Well, Jerry Jones would like to make you general manager of the team.
I don't want the job. I don't want the job. I don't want to deal with Jerry Jones. I don't want the stinking job. All right? That's the name of that tune. I reckon.
He'd probably
Okay,
say,
so it's
Jeff, Sean, come on down to Dallas.
No,
you guys can come and
no,
work for the Cowboys, and
no.
I'll find a nice, beautiful home for you too.
no. Sorry. Can't do it. Won't do it. Ain't gonna do it.
Jeff says, "Look, I've already lived in that land of misery. I don't want to go through it again."
No, I'm not. I'm no freaking way am I living in Dallas, Texas. Get the hell out of here. No freaking way. You're going to put a New York Giant fan in the middle of Dallas, Texas? I don't think so.
You're going to put a New England Patriot fan in the middle of Dallas, Texas? You're right. I don't think so.
Exactly. So it's 40 degrees and it's warm for you, huh?
Yes, it is, and the snow is melting. I really, really like it, too.
40 degrees. It's 85 degrees here, man.
Well, that's good for you. I'm glad
Sweating
you got
my
85
ass
degrees
off.
where you're at.
I had to put the freaking air conditioner on. I'm sweating my ass off over here. I know people in the rest of the country are freezing. All the people on the East Coast, Sean, they're freezing their ass off. They're dealing with snow again. They're getting slammed. All those people in Atlanta, ay, vase me. Glad I live in sunny San Diego. But you know what, Sean, right? That's what you get for living where you live. Okay, then. People complain, I don't want to live in California because of the earthquakes. You want to know something? You people get more snowstorms a year than we get earthquakes. Okay?
Well, I grew up in Montana. What do you expect? I'm always handling the snow. I've always been used to it. Jeff grew up in New York, and he was used to the snow, too.
No, not anymore. I'm a wussy now. I can't deal with the cold no more. I live in sunny San Diego where it's 85 degrees. You people get more snow and freezing rain on the East Coast this year alone than we had freaking earthquakes out here in 2 years. What the hell's the matter with you people? I can't live in California because of the earthquakes. Yeah, you just stay out there and keep freezing your asses off. Good for you people.
We can tough it out. We can tough it out and stuff like that, too.
That's what you get for saying 40 degrees. It's 85 degrees over here you're at, Bass.
And that's what you get for living in the cold where you live and stuff, too.
That's what you get for living where you live. That's right. Hey, man, it's just as simple as that, isn't it?
Well, if you learn to stay warm, just learn to wear long underwear, long johns, and some wool socks, and then hopefully you'll be set and stuff, too.
That's nice. That's nice. Nice of you over there. Okay, what's the first topic of the day, my friend?
I reckon the first...
Oh, my God. I created a monster. I reckon...
You bet your sweet Bippy. Okay,
what?
The first topic we get...
Bippy. Wow. You bet your sweet Bippy. Wow.
All right, the first topic we get to...
Hey, Sean.
What?
I reckon.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I reckon, yeah.
Go ahead.
First topic we get to comes from Major League Baseball. I know we're not supposed to talk very much about this. We're trying to come up with really good stories, but Derek Jeter has formally announced that this will be his last year with the New York Yankees.
Okay.
Jeff, quickly, your take.
Okay, so since he made the announcement, does he do the Mario Rivera tour? Like Mariano, whatever the hell his name is.
Mariano Rivera.
Thank you. You don't like the Yankees and you know how to pronounce his name. Good man for you. Will he do the same thing that Rivera did?
I would say yes. I say that wherever he goes, they should just give him a farewell to all the Major League Baseball parks, and then they say, Jeter, you've had a great run. You've won 5 championships. Let's do our nice little ceremony dedication and stuff.
Oh, you phase me. So it means he's going to get a lot of presents this year, isn't he?
Oh, isn't that nice? It is the thought that counts for presents, by the way.
Isn't that nice? What are the Boston Red Sox going to give him?
They'll probably do the same thing like they did to Mariano Rivera last year in that September game when I watched it, and how they gave him a pretty nice dedication, even though you know my feelings about the Yankees and how much I really, really, really care about
How
them.
odd is that to have How odd is that to have one of the hottest rivals that you have in Major League Baseball, the Boston Red Sox, celebrating the career of Mariano Rivera and Derek Jeter. Huh? Huh?
That's
Huh?
crazy.
Let me ask you a question. Okay? Seriously. What other baseball clubs, what other people retire, go and play their last season, and everybody knows that he's retiring? There's no other team in Major League Baseball that has this done for you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
New York Yankees, Mariano Rivera got the tour done, right?
Right.
Now it's probably going to be Derek Jeter, right?
Right.
Well, they're both Yankees, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many other baseball teams have done that? And how many other other teams in American League celebrated another team's person retiring? Only happens to the Yankees.
I don't remember.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't happen often, does it?
Yeah.
Right? Last was Mariano Rivera. Now it's Derek Jeter. They're both Yankees. So the last time Derek Jeter plays a game in every stadium, that team's going to give him something, correct?
Correctamundo.
Okay, so correct. What are you, Fonzarelli over there?
Hey, I'm a big fan of Happy Days, man.
Hey. Hey. Okay, so.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey.
So what other baseball player from another team had this done for him?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember the last time a team did that.
That's and now not just one person from. It's going to be another Yankee.
Probably it will. Probably they'll say we have to be emotional. We need to have some tributes and for what they've done. Even though you know what my feelings are about the Yankees.
Now I know, but now granted, both of those guys played for just one team their whole career. Granted, yeah, you know what? The last person I can think that it happened to. In fact, there's two people I can think that it happened to. Cal Ripken Jr.
Yep.
And Tony Gwynn.
Yes. I do remember that.
When Tony Gwynn retired, right? And he said it was his last year, and same thing with Cal Ripken Jr. when he said it was his last year. Those are the only two other players I can think of. Right?
Yes.
Pretty good memory to have, huh?
A very good memory, Jeff.
So you're too young to remember that.
Hey, I'm like the encyclopedia of sports. If it wasn't for me, we would not be.
I know. I agree with you, but you have to look it up. See, it's in my memory bank. That's the and you want to know something?
I'm sitting here laughing about the whole thing.
And you want to know something?
Yes.
I saw both of those events. In fact, I've seen all three events. I'm about to see the fourth. Can you say that?
Well, I have no comment really on that one. I'm not talking either.
Hey, let me ask you a question really quick. I don't mean to jump off topic. But this coming weekend is the NBA All-Star Game, right?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
And this coming weekend is the fiasco between all the NBA crap. The rookie game, the celebrity game, the slam dunk, the three-point. That's all this weekend, right? Okay. I want you to watch something really quick, and then we'll get back to baseball really quick. During the celebrity game, I want you to watch Kevin Hart dribble the basketball. Okay? I'm saying it now before the game happens. I'm calling him out. I am calling him out. Kevin Hart, every time you dribble the ball, you palm it. Every single time. Okay? I want the referees to call that crap. You watch, Sean. I'm telling you. You watch the game and watch him dribbling the ball. You'll see him palming it.
You all know that when the celebrities get together for the NBA All-Star Weekend, they want to do something which is creative. They just want to have some fun.
Yeah,
That's
but
all
come
they
on,
want to
dude. Come on. They call traveling, they call fouls. Come on, call the freaking palming. Listen, he's won the MVP 2 times in a row. Call the palming on the son of a bitch. I hope he doesn't win it this year.
They would be like, no, it's the NBA All-Star game. Come on, the celebs, they get paid millions of bucks, so we figure, what the heck, let's just have some fun, and they can palm all they want.
No, I hope he gets hurt. I hope he gets hurt in the game. I'm not a fan of Kevin Hart, so I hope he gets hurt in the game.
Why are you not a fan of Kevin Hart?
Because I'm not. I'm just not. I think I think he is an obnoxious son of a bitch. My personal opinion. That's all. I'm just saying, watch when Sean, because I know you're gonna watch the celebrity game a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, watch when he dribbles the ball. Watch. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Well, and then probably, Jeff, if you were the official, how many
I'd be
times are you
calling
going
it.
to palm the basketball?
I call it. I would call it every single time he does it.
And then he'd get up in your face
You're
and say,
damn right.
hey, it's the NBA All-Star game.
And then I call a technical foul out of him. I call a technical foul on him, and I turn around to him. I said, they dribble the ball the way it's supposed to be dribbled, and don't palm it. Every time you palm it, I'm going to call it because that's in the rule book.
All right, we are at 21 minutes past the hour on this
right?
Wednesday, the 12th of December, 2014. Another one we got, Ron Gallo, the hockey expert, says he would like to come on in. He says Skype is on. He'd like to come on in and talk some hockey with all you wonderful people. And
Really?
Jeff and I.
Let's bring in that rat bastard. Really?
Yeah, I told him we'd bring him in.
I don't have him on this Skype, do I? Okay, I have to do that. Okay. I'm telling him I'm sending him a friend's request from my other one.
Oh.
That's not Ron Gallo.
Yeah, well, Ron just sent me a message on Facebook Messenger. He says, I'm on Skype.
Okay, Skype him and tell him to type in SportsWorldRadio Show and add me as a contact. You have him on Skype?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, add him to the call, you rat bastard.
I would be happy to.
What the hell's the matter with you?
All right, hold on. What the heck is this? It says call Skype or call Mobile. Oh, I guess you have to send him a request.
Yeah, I got to send him a request. And I tell him to just type into him on Facebook. Tell him to add Sports World Radio Show to his Facebook. To his Skype, please. Because I can't find him on my Skype. I thought I had him in my... I guess that's not the right Ron Gallo. He might be on a different... He might be on his daughter's Skype. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he says he's here. I said to him, add Sports World Radio as a contact. Please.
Sports World Radio Show.
Sports World Radio Show. I just said that too.
Okay, yeah. It's very important that you put the show in there. Because if you don't...
Yeah. Hold on. I understand. Yeah, I told him that, and I said, Ron, please do that so we can add you to the call so you can give your hockey perspective. As you all know, it is Winter Olympics, by the way.
Yeah, and I got some things I want to talk about that. Have you been watching the Winter Olympics?
I've been watching a little bit of the hockey.
There he is right there. Love that. Okay. Add to conference. Here he comes. Mr. Gallo.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, my friend. How are you?
Oh, it's the hockey man.
So, Mr. Gallo, are you there?
I'm here. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Are you here?
I am.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
It's been a while.
It's been a long while, my friend. Where are you?
I'm in Prince George underneath a blanket of snow, and last week it was a blanket of cold.
Well, that's what you get for living where you live.
There you go.
I reckon. Okay, so...
Started wrecking it out, and Jeff's all of a sudden saying
You
it.
started it, dude.
Yeah. So, what has Sean been smoking down there?
I don't know, but it's been pretty good because he said I reckon, and he said I did. What was the other one? BB Bop or something? What was the other one, Sean?
I reckon, or Sweet Bippy. You bet your
yeah.
Sweet Bippy.
Sweet Bippy. What the hell is Sean doing, man?
I've been, just, trying to come up with different phrases, different quotes,
think
and stuff like that.
I think
And
you've
here's
been-
our hockey man, Ron Gallo, here.
I think you've been shoveling too much snow.
Well,
That's what I think. So, Mr. Ron Gallo.
how are you doing?
I'm doing great. So I want to start off with the Olympics and the hockey.
All right.
Okay. Have you watched any of it so far? Only the females have been playing. Have you watched any of it?
I have. Canadian girls defeated
Yeah,
the
screw
American
you.
women earlier today, but they say that that's the kiss of death. They say that that ensures the Team USA is going to make it through to the gold finals.
Well, you want to know something? The last 4 games those two teams played against each other, the American team won. So
Exactly.
my philosophy is you got to let the Canadians win every now and then so they'll keep playing against you.
And leading up to the Winter Olympics, the U.S. have won all of the games against Canada in the preliminary matchups.
I know, and I watched that game this morning, and the Canadian team seemed a little bit more rough and tough than the American team, but the American team seemed a lot quicker.
Well, give the credit where the credit is due. The Americans have been coming on in the game of hockey since the Miracle on Ice in 1980. When you look at it, you're dealing with almost now a second generation of athletes that have been a product of the 1980 Miracle on Ice, and this really is where hockey has started to change and blossom in the United States, is the Miracle on Ice. And since then, the U.S. team has been getting stronger and stronger and stronger year after year after year. And it's definitely something that, has to be acknowledged for sure.
Hey, Ron, let me call you right back really quick. We got a bad connection. Take care of that. I knew it was him, so no big deal. I'll just call him right back and get a better connection. There it is. Oh, that's much better.
Much clearer.
Much clearer, yeah. Okay, so.
Yeah, everything has changed, you're right, since the 1980 Olympics.
Yeah, and I'm glad
go ahead, Jeff.
I'm glad you brought that up, Ron, because I was watching the girls play, and I was saying to myself, man, this kind of reminds me of the 1980 team, the way these girls are playing.
Well, and they're younger, they're faster, they're stronger, and it showed in those preliminary matchups. The thing about women's hockey is that there's not supposed to be any real physical contact. You're allowed to hit, but you're not allowed to body check. You're not allowed to go to the extreme. These two teams have been dropping the gloves and getting into fisticuffs.
Yeah, these two teams don't like each other.
Fights.
Yeah, these two teams don't like each other, and it was very evident in the game this morning.
Well, and that's because these games leading up to the Olympics have been played within the last 2 months, in the months of December and January. And there's been some bad bloods. There's been some line brawls. There's been a couple of big hits. There's been from both sides. And I mean, I'm not saying that it's just Canada. I'm certainly not saying it's just the American women. They have definitely been enjoying themselves on the ice. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to watch because that women's team. I watched all 3 games. I've seen all 3 games they played, and that's early mornings for me, really early mornings for me. And and Ron's like, wow, Jeff's watching hockey, women's hockey. Yeah, I am, because the only time I get to watch it is during the Olympics, because I actually like watching the women's hockey better than I like watching the men's hockey.
Yeah, and, certainly they haven't had some easy games. I mean, you look at Switzerland, and that one's probably the easiest matchup of them all. But Finland is not an easy team to beat, and USA did beat them by a score of 3-1. If you're looking at some comparisons, USA defeated the Switzerland by a score of 9-0,
yeah.
and Canada was only able to get them 5-0.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
No, you got to
These
figure
two
it's going to
teams,
be
Canadians
Canada.
and the Americans are very evenly matched.
You got to figure it's going to be Canada and USA for the gold, right?
Well, I hate to say it, but head and shoulders above the rest of the world, Team USA and Team Canada. Absolutely, without question.
Yeah, I mean, so that game yesterday, a lot of people said it was a non-meaningful game. Bull crap. That game was like, we're here, now let's go.
So,
okay, so let's go into the men's. We got the men's starting up Wednesday, right?
Your thoughts too, Ron, about what you think of the men's?
well, the men's start up, as you mentioned, the men's start up tomorrow. And this one is going to be extremely interesting to find out how this one's all going to pan out. And the reason why I say that is because there's three teams that everybody's looking at, and there's a couple of other teams that are going to be dark horses in all of this. The three teams that everybody's looking at are the defending gold medal champions, Team Canada. Certainly the Team USA that was an overtime goal away from becoming the gold medal champions in 2010. But the host team, Team Russia. I'm not sure if you heard Pavel Datsuk or even Alexander Ovechkin in the media here over the last couple of days, but this team has been super sour on both Team Canada, especially Team Canada, since 2010 when they got ousted very early on and ended up having to watch from the sidelines as Team USA and Team Canada fought for gold, certainly something that they thought they should be a part of. Now as the host team, you have to wonder just how strong is Team Russia going to be in front of what's turning in to be a very loud, a very boisterous, and a very impassioned home crowd.
It's good. And correct me if I'm wrong, USA opens up against Russia, don't they?
I do believe they do, and Canada's got a little bit easier time. They go up against their first two teams, I believe, are Norway and Italy, something like that. Very, very easy outings as far as that's concerned.
Here's a quick question to ask you, Jeff and Ron. I know it was before I was born, though, but that 1980 Olympics in Lake Placid, New York.
It's freaking awesome.
What was your guys' first reaction when you saw the USA beat the Soviet Union? Big moment for this country.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was freaking awesome. I still remember it to this day.
That's, like I said, that is a turning point in hockey south of the border. That's a turning point for hockey in all of the United States. And what you have to remember is that prior to 1980, there was really only one pocket of hockey, and that was Minnesota, the state of Minnesota. Hockey didn't really exist anywhere else. And then, of course, it's an Olympic sport, and you did have original six teams that were over on the East Coast with New York, with Chicago, with Boston. So certainly you had the original six flavor for hockey and hockey bets. But what you didn't have is you didn't have that media appeal, that certain charismatic feel that Olympic sports has with the followers. Jeff, you mentioned that you're watching hockey. You're watching the Olympics. And when you watch the Olympics, who thought that they would ever be watching something called snow slopes?
Who would ever thought they'd be watching something called curling?
Well, exactly. But you're seeing very, very loud crowds. There's so many little things about the game of curling that different people gravitate to, whether it be the flamboyant clothing or all of a sudden the crowd interference in a game that is supposed to be played like golf, where everybody's supposed to be quiet and you're supposed to let the superstar walk up to the tee and take 37 seconds to kind of figure out exactly how hard they're going to drive that ball. What you're getting now is you're getting fans that completely don't understand the game of curling, and they saw it in 2010 where the fans were really, really loud in Vancouver for Team Canada, and you're getting the same thing now in Russia, but you're getting it even to an nth degree higher. And the fans are being told and reminded that you can't be making all that noise when the person is in the hack. The problem is that you've got two rinks that are almost three rinks, really, that you're playing at the same time. And not everybody is going to be coming out of the hack at the same time when it comes to the game of curling. So when Team Russia is coming out of the hack, of course, the building is nice and quiet. As that rock starts making its way down the other end of the ice, and it starts curling into that center ice zone, and it starts, knocking out the opponent's rocks or setting itself up, the fans get super loud. And meanwhile, there's two other rinks that are still trying to throw their rocks down the length of the ice as well.
Yeah, they're showing. I'm watching curling right now, and they were just showing a wide view. They actually have 4 rinks there.
The question I got too, Ron and Jeff, talk about curling. Any other sports that you guys have been watching? You gentlemen have been watching in the Olympics?
Well, of course, I was watching freestyle moguls because Alex Bilodeau was the first Canadian to win a gold medal on home soil, and he was actually able to defend it. So for me, that was one that a lot of Canadians wanted to watch. They wanted to see how Alex Bilodeau will do. Another one, and I'm sure that this one had a lot more appeal to the Americans, but certainly when Shaun White was wavering whether or not he was going to go to Sochi and compete with the snowboarding, Canadians, there was a couple of athletes that got all over his case and lit up Twitter about how Shaun White knew that he wasn't going to be able to do this or do that, and they were being very aggressive, if you will, with their tweets. And Shaun White ended up performing. He never ended up finishing with a medal, to my knowledge, yesterday. But certainly what we're seeing from Canadian athletes today is a holdover from Canadian athletes that grew and mature and developed a bit of swagger after the 2010 games in Vancouver when they started winning all of those medals. And it started with Alex Bilodeau winning gold medal in freestyle moguls. So to see him win that that gold medal and defend it, of course, that was huge. And then, of course, his brother, who is a little bit challenged physically and mentally. I mean, Alex Bilodeau, a very touching moment for all Canadians. But that's who Canada is. A Russian skier the other day had problems with his skis, and it was a Canadian coach that came out to help him. I'm not saying you're not going to see that from other athletes, but that's who Canada used to be. They used to be very quiet, unassuming, and now all of a sudden you're ending up with this one where they're making a lot of noise, and they're not afraid to say it because, hey, we are the defending gold medal. And it goes down to hockey as well. And where I'm going with this is Russia is pissed. Last night, Pavel Datsyuk is being asked the question, how did getting bumped so early in the 2010 games affect you? And he goes, when was that? And the reporter says it was 4 years ago. He goes, oh, you remember that? We don't. In other words, don't ask us about anything that happened yesterday. We could give 2 shits about what happened yesterday. We're only focused about today and tomorrow and winning gold. And that's the statement that's coming from Russia. They want to have that swagger. They want to do what Canada did in 2010, and they want to develop a national identity, and they believe that they need to do that around the sport of hockey.
I agree.
The next question I have, Jeff and Ron, medals. Do you know who has the total amount of medals? Like, how is Canada doing for their medals, and how is the United States doing?
The United States is like in 5th or 6th place.
Yeah, Canada is doing extremely well. They were leading the medal race up until today. They have sunk to number 2 spot, but they are now into double digits for medals. They've got 4 gold, 4 silver, and 2 bronze. They are behind Netherlands, and Norway is 3rd.
Hey, Ron,
and, I think it's cool, kind of going back to hockey, has women's hockey been doing this for a long time? Have they been doing this where they've had hockey games for Winter Olympics for a long time? Because it always seems like it was always more of the men than the women.
And that's correct. I mean, it's always about the men's hockey. I mean, you look at the media right now, and nobody realizes that the women have already played 3 games. Team Canada is 3-0. After today, Team USA is 2 wins and 1 loss. They've already played 3 games, and a lot of people don't know that. The sport of hockey, when it comes to female hockey players and the female hockey teams, a lot of times takes second stage, and that's that's unfortunate, I think, because certainly the media has a role to play in that, but the media is also just looking at what people are most interested in, and they are most interested in men's hockey. And when you look at Team Canada, you're looking at an average of $21 million players on the ice.
Hey, let me ask you, Ron, let me ask you this. With the hockey season shutting down and the players that aren't playing in the Olympics, a lot of them can get fat and sassy and chill out, relax with family, and hang out. Do you think this is the right move for hockey?
This is a good question. Yeah.
Personally, I don't agree with it because for me, Olympics is supposed to be about amateur sports. It's supposed to be the epitome of amateur sports. And the first time that I really realized that there was something wrong with the model changing was when the dream teams in the Summer Olympics, for basketball especially, were starting to be formed. And it sounds like I'm pointing fingers. I am, but I'm not trying to do it in a mean fashion. But men's basketball, Team USA, putting together that dream team, what is that now, 3 Summer Olympics ago?
Yeah.
That was the Summer Olympics of 1992, and that was an unbelievable dream team.
Right, but okay, so it was more than 3 Olympics ago. But where I'm saying is when that happened, that's when the definition of who could be an Olympic athlete changed. Personally, the NHL should stay out of the Olympics. They are a professional sport, and this is not an amateur sport. Why were professional athletes brought into the Olympic Games? They're supposed to be amateur athletes.
I have no idea. I totally agree with you, and I don't think the NHL should shut down.
I don't think that the NHL should shut down either.
Because
it's no different than next year. The Canada Winter Games are right here in Prince George. The venue that the Spruce Kings play out of will be used for a game called Ringette. We will be displaced for 2 weeks. In other words, we will have to play 2 weekends on the road where we won't be able to practice in our own building and we won't be able to play games in our own building. We will be on the road literally for 2 weeks playing games and finding other locations to practice. If it were any other way, then that team, the Spruce Kings, or at least a portion of the Spruce Kings and of the BC Hockey League, should be able to participate in those games. And that's why, you're right, they should still be playing NHL game. They should still be playing head-to-head with the Olympics.
There's more players not playing than there are playing in the Olympics, right?
Oh, absolutely. Without question, there's enough American-born players that Team USA, there could be 2 of them. There's enough Canadian-born Canadian-born players that there could be 2 or maybe even 3
Same
Team
thing with
Canadas.
Russia, I believe, right?
So, absolutely, you're right. I mean, there is a long list. And that could have been a discussion that we had if I was on your show a couple of weeks ago when they were naming the American team and when they were naming the Canadian team. The huge discussion here was the amount of players that were being left off that team. Leading the list for Team USA is Phil Kessel. Phil Kessel has had an unbelievable season this year with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he's left off the list. There's still others from Team USA that were off the list. When Team Canada was listed, when the team was named, Steven Stamkos' name comes up on the list, and there's people like Claude Giroux and Martin St. Louis that weren't on there. Patrick Marleau wasn't on that team. There were so many Canadians that weren't on the team. There were people that were in uproar over it because Steven Stamkos had a leg injury. Why is he being named to Team Canada when he's still a question mark? As it turns out, Steven Stamkos did pull himself out a week ago, and that paved the way for Martin St. Louis to join Team Canada in Sochi to be a part of Team Canada in their repeat or looking to repeat as gold medalists.
Yeah, but Ron, isn't there enough players in the NHL to fill each team? Doesn't each team have enough players to keep each team going and keep the NHL going?
That's
so what you're suggesting then is that you even pull out a couple of players out of every team and say you still have a 21-man roster. Go play your games.
Yeah, if they still can fill a team, a roster, keep the NHL going.
And if a couple coaches need to go to Russia, then you could bring in somebody to be like an assistant coach and take over and keep playing too. I just have disagreed with this. A friend of mine on Facebook messaged me, and I said, well, how long is the winter break? I said, the NHL doesn't resume playing until February 26th. That's 18 days, and that just seems so long. And here's what I'm kind of getting at, too. When the hockey players return and NHL resumes on February 26th, there's going to be rusty players. People are going to be trying to get back in the swing of the NHL.
You're absolutely right. And we're down to 2 weeks right now, but they needed time to travel, and that's the reason why they're the extended break. To me, and this is maybe soapbox stuff, and maybe it's not quite sports related, but the Olympics are sport. And it has changed now into something completely different. It's costing taxpayers millions, if not billions of dollars for this event. There are certainly displaced animals and humans in around Sochi area, and we saw it firsthand in BC last year. There are displaced people that could stand to benefit from money being injected into the system to help the less fortunate. Instead, what it's being done, it's millions and billions of dollars are going into the building of all of these sports arenas and complexes and the security and everything else that needs to be set up for these Olympic Games every 4 years in these different host countries. It's getting to the point where certainly it's becoming so expensive that it's becoming an exclusive club. And there's only going to be certain countries that are going to be able to afford to be able to put this on. Do you think the likes of a Uganda is going to be able to put on an Olympic Games now that the price tag is where it's at?
No.
And so the question is, why has the Olympics changed so much in the last 20 years? And you look at it when it used to just be all about amateur sports and bringing the best possible athletes. And then after the Olympic Games, you saw a lot of those amateur athletes becoming professional athletes in another sport or in the same sport. But it became a stepping stone to something bigger and better. Now all it is, it's becoming a cash grab for as many people as can possibly make it a cash grab, whether it be a major sponsor. And the Super Bowl for me has gone the same direction. How is it that you can justify $1 million plus for a 30-second ad?
Did you see that beer vending machines for Canadians only at the Olympics? That's pretty wild, huh?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You got to stick their passport in there so they can get beer.
That's right.
That's pretty freaking crazy, ain't it?
But when you think about it,
that's Molson Canadian. That's a beer company in Canada that's doing that.
I know, that's pretty cool that you freaking. So if you're an American, you can't get beer from it.
No, you can't because it has too much alcohol content. You guys can't handle that much alcohol content.
But if you have a Canadian friend, he can stick his passport in there and get you a beer.
That's right.
So hey, Ron, get me a beer, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. And I can do that for you.
48 minutes past the hour, everybody. We got, of course, Ron Gallo, our hockey expert, on here. It's always great having him on here. Say, Ron, I was going to ask you, though, I'm sure, though, with having this long break, I know NHL players have just got to be so just anxious to get going again, because here, 2 weeks from today, the NHL season resumes. And, of course, I'm sure the coaches say, okay, you players still need to work out and not be a couch potato.
Well, there is that, and you have to hope that certainly it's going to happen, that they're not going to just head down to Mexico and sit on the beach for 2 weeks.
Well, True,
absolutely.
you know damn well some of them are going to go hang out with their families and do nothing.
Exactly. Now, some of them can use the rest to recover from some of the season injuries that they've been suffering are under. But certainly, when you look at them coming back on the 26th, they're going to take those couple of games that they're going to play between the 26th and the 28th of February to try to get right back into it, because on March the 1st, when things really kick into full gear, and you've got all of the teams playing again on the 1st of March, which is a Saturday. Everybody almost always plays a Saturday game. They need to make sure that the players are conditioned enough that the players that did have this 2.5-week layoff don't look like they've had a 2.5-week layoff, because you're not going to be able to get the fans to come back.
No, are they allowed, the players that are not playing in the Olympics, are they allowed to go to the facility and work out?
They're allowed, yeah, the different facilities will be open. There's always a team practice facility. You may not, like the New Jersey Devils may not be able to go and actually go straight to their Meadowlands arena.
Right.
But they have a practice facility, and they'll be able to practice in there. There's obviously access to gyms. There's access to trainers. There's access to all of the team amenities at their home base. But think about it, your average NHL team that has maybe one player on average, living within an hour and a half of playing the game of hockey from their hometown. Most of these people, for 2.5 weeks, most of these players are heading home, whether it be Belarus, whether it be somewhere in Canada, or whether it be somewhere in the United States, or whether it be somewhere in Europe, wherever their home is. I guarantee you, for 2 weeks, when you have a break, you're going to turn it into a family break, and you're going to go home. And what are you going to do during that 2 weeks?
Sit around and get fat and sassy.
Hopefully you're only going to indulge for the first 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 days, and then realize that you got to get back to the gym. Hopefully.
Yeah, lots of luck with that. Gonna sit around and get fat and sassy.
Well,
Exactly.
you got to keep this in perspective, too. When the hockey players do come back from this break and everybody has to start playing again, then, it's like all of a sudden you're getting to crunch time here. I mean, because you got this, there's a lot at stake. You got the hockey seedings for the teams that are in the playoffs and stuff. And April, I think Ron, wouldn't there be like when they come back and play like 7-8 weeks left to go, and then the playoffs start in April?
Yeah.
Yes, they do. But don't forget, there's also the trade deadline that's coming up.
Yep.
And that, if I'm not mistaken, isn't the trade deadline March the 5th this year?
If you say so.
I think so. I'd have to check that.
If you say so there, Mr. Hockey Guru.
We're talking a week after the Olympics is over,
stupid.
and the teams are back.
Yeah, stupid. Way to go, freaking Gary Bettman, you jackass.
There you go.
Way to
Jeff's
go.
least favorite person, Gary Bettman.
Another one. Hey, Ron, thank you so much for coming in and hanging with us today. I really appreciate it, brother.
No problem. Just so you know, I've heard a lot of feedback. I'm hoping that you guys haven't been hearing it over at your end.
I don't think there's anything we can do about it, but you're louder than the feedback anyway, so don't worry about it.
All right. Well, you guys take care. And, the regular season goes through until the very beginning of April there. I believe the last games that will be played are on Sunday, April the 13th, and then the playoffs start right afterwards. But more importantly, we're looking at March 5th as being the trade deadline. That means that players that are fat and sassy are going to be on the trade block.
Interesting dilemma, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and it's something that we may have to discuss here in the near future. You guys, thank you for having me on board here tonight. I do apologize.
Oh, no worries, brother.
We're busy, but I do apologize, and I thank you very much for letting me join in today.
No worries. Thank you. We'll have you on. We'll get you on hopefully before the trade deadline and then again after the trade deadline so we can keep an eye on these fat and sassy players.
Sounds good, Jeff.
All right,
See you,
brother.
Sean.
See you, Ron. Thank you for coming in.
There goes our good friend Ron Gallo, the hockey guru of Sports World Radio. Okay, throw a topic at me really quick. We got about 6 minutes to go.
Okay, the next story we get to, A.J. Burnett is leaving Pittsburgh, and he's going over to another place,
Baltimore.
Philadelphia.
Oh, he's going to Philadelphia. So he's staying in the state of PA, right? Pennsylvania.
Yep.
But he's going from Pittsburgh to Philly. How do you like
That's
that,
right.
Wes? How do you like that, Wes? You like that move over there, Wesy?
I was wanting Wes in the show today because I was going to say, I'm going to hit him with this.
He ain't going to show up because one of his guys are not coming back. It's the way he rolls.
So anyway,
So
A.J.
what
Burnett, he reached
what-
an agreement Wednesday on a one-year deal. It was worth $16 million, a
Phew.
source confirmed to ESPN.com.
1 year, $16 million.
Yeah.
You know what else the Philadelphia Phillies did?
What?
I don't know if you saw this, but they fired their all-time broadcasting crew and hired 2 new guys.
That is correct,
Two
and I was
former-
kind of surprised to hear that move.
2 former players who were on the team, who were on the Phillies in 2008. Jamie Moyer and Matt Stairs. Neither of these guys have freaking broadcast experience. Who's doing play-by-play and who's doing color? If you're going to hire guys like that, give me and Sean a freaking crack for correct sakes. Sean could do the play-by-play. I could do the color for Jiminy Crickets. I don't understand that at all.
What, you want to apply and move to Philadelphia there, Jeff,
Hey,
and you and
listen.
I can actually call Philly games, or what?
We'll be traveling around the United States in different ball. We'll get to see all the National League ballparks.
Yeah, but that'd be tough. I'm a Red Sox.
I'm a Red Sox.
Oh,
Hey,
well.
Phillies have red in them.
Yeah.
And as a broadcaster, you don't have to be a homer. You could be biased. So actually, you know what? That's perfect for you because it'll teach you how to be not a homer no more. Because you'll be calling Philadelphia games, but you'll be a Red Sox fan. That'd be perfect for you.
I'll never get rid of the Red Sox gear if we had to move to Philadelphia.
No, but
Good Lord.
wouldn't you love the 3-game series when the Red Sox come into town?
Oh, boy.
Wouldn't you love the 3-game series when you have to go to Boston to call a Philadelphia-Boston game?
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. That's a bad... I would much rather see you and I be calling games for NESN, the New England Sports Network.
No, get the hell out of here.
What do you mean? Fenway Park, all the history? There you go. Yeah.
Personally, I would rather see us doing this show. And screw the play-by-play. We'll just do this show. That's all.
So anyway, the Phillies, they fired their broadcast crew. They got A.J. Burnett, which was for a 1-year deal. So how does that help the Phillies?
It
We'll
doesn't.
see.
I don't think it does. Who's the Phillies manager? Come on, quickly.
Don't know.
Don't know? How about Ryan Sandberg?
That's right.
How good am I?
Burnett will join Cole Hamels, Cliff Lee, and Kyle Kendrick in Philadelphia's rotation this season.
That's not a bad rotation. Hey, really quick before we get out of here, because I live here in San Diego.
Sure.
San Diego State lost last night. Ooh, I know. The number 5 team lost last night to an unranked team. I believe it was Nevada State that they lost to last night. In Nevada. No, it was Wyoming, I think it was. Wyoming, not Nevada. I wasn't happy. 62-68. Not freaking happy.
Ooh.
Now, listen really quick about this. They were number 5. This is only their 2nd loss all year. I will not be shocked if they get knocked out of the top 10. Because San Diego State gets no love to begin with. And with this 2nd loss, boom.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how the tournament brackets go because we're not far away from March Madness.
No, it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be very interesting to watch, you know? It's going to be very fun to watch. I'm going to be looking forward to it because I want to see how far San Diego State can get because they're a really good ball club. They're a really good ball club, and it's going to be fun to watch them playing. I mean, they were going for win number 21 in a row.
And where you live, they were going crazy because of that long winning streak too.
They won 20 games in a row. Are you kidding me? You know, they lost their first game of the year, and then they didn't lose any. No, I'm sorry. They lost their 2nd game of the year, and then boom. Went on a 20-game winning streak, and then they lost their next game. They play again Saturday night, I believe, home. It'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. Hey, everybody, I want to thank you for hanging out with us here on Sports World Radio. That is Sean Mann. I am Jeff Eskow. Remember, this has been Sports World Radio. Don't forget, remember, you only have one life to live. Live it long, live it strong, and live it proud. And please don't forget, life may suck, but the alternative is unacceptable. Peace out, everybody. Take care. We will see you next time. Later.
Thank you, good night, and goodbye.
Hey, boy, Stimpy. We sure had fun today, didn't we? So long, kids. Come on, Stimpy, say goodbye.
Where are we going?
The show's over. See you next time.
Next time? When's that?
Pretty soon. Don't worry.
Pretty soon?